I start the opening remarks, I would like to say to the Hardee family and everyone in this room that this is a celebration of life of Benjamin Hardee. He has moved from the physical body to the spiritual body. He has just had a transition. So we celebrate this evening the life of Benjamin Hardee. Benjamin Hardee, better known as Fly, was a man of many trades. He prided himself in being a mason. Though he moved around a lot, he loved his family, friends, and enjoyed having a good time. He was always the jovial one. You could count on him to crack a joke about you, and you would end up laughing hysterically about yourself. One of his biggest traits was messing up your name. He would call you 5 names before he could say yours. And then you'd have the nerve to say, you know what I mean. But if you put some music on, it was time to have a good time. Yes, Lord. He would dance and become one with the music while his smile, his beautiful smile would just light up the room, especially when he belted out that hearty laugh. And we've all heard the hearty laugh. Fly was always the one at the family gatherings with hugs, kisses, and compliments for the family. He was a true family man. Now, if you showed him where the food was, he was ready. But on the flip side, he had his own culinary skills. You could give him the least amount of items, and he could whip you up the most delicious dish ever. Between onions, okra, scallions for seasoning, he would slam dunk a dish and eat it and tell you it was something good while wiping his mouth and saying, yeah, baby. Now, Fly, he enjoyed some other pastimes. When meeting and greeting the women, that was his other pastime. Fly's favorite line was, hello, honey. How you doing, baby? Nod his head as if you're royalty. Fly loved to create an atmosphere full of love and laughter. Even if you got to experience a few choice words from Fly when he was feisty and in his fighting mood, by the time he turned around, he was back to his same old self. From the youngest to the oldest, everyone loved and enjoyed Fly. Now this is what I think is interesting that we can all learn. He didn't judge you by the decisions you made. He was a homie to the boys and a friend to the friendless and a lover to the ladies. A real man who loved the streets and all that came with it. Though he was consumed by them, he fought his final battle until his last days, the quietest he's ever been. I'm sure in the stillness of the streets, you can probably hear Fly's laugh on Kingston Avenue. If you ever met Fly, you knew when he left that he was like no other. And when you think about him, one day a smile will come across your face, and you will realize you just had the Fly experience. I would like everyone to close their eyes as I lead us in prayer. By Vanessa Hardee.
Greetings, everyone. Benjamin Hardee was born May 7, 1935 to Alston and Isella Hardee. He was the youngest of 13 children. The Hardee clan was so large that Benjamin attended early classes with his eldest niece, Christine. Following his older brothers, he too moved to New York City. Here, he met his future wife, Lorraine Long, and they married in 1958. Lorraine had a young son named Irving Hardee, with a Y, and her husband, Benjamin, loved him too. From this marriage, they bore 2 children, his namesake, Benjamin Hardee, and his daughter, Natasha Hardee. Lorraine preceded him in death in January 16, 2008. Benjamin Hardee, better known as Fly, was a man who lived out loud. He was no stranger to hard work and getting his hustle on. In Fly's words, he was going to do a job. Due to his upbringing by a self-employed father, Fly kept the family tradition by working as a masonry worker and becoming his own boss. He started the Fly Construction Company and employed many of his family members and friends. He worked and cussed just as hard. His nephews, Craig, Big Stanley, and Tony attribute their work ethics to working with Uncle Fly. If you were not up and ready by 6 a.m., you were left. In his spry days, Fly also drove a cab as an alternative hustle. He had the right name because he was always buzzing around. In Fly's later years, he had a son, Dion Hardee, with Yvonne Cohen, his domestic partner, who also preceded him in death in September of this year, 2015. Fly loved to dance, cook, eat, crack jokes, drink, and drive women crazy. He was a teaser, a flirt, and the life of the party. He had a heart as big as his sense of humor. If you needed something and he had it, he gave it to you. He was there. Fly was feisty and fierce. He was small in stature, but roared like a giant. He lived how he wanted, said what he wanted, did what he wanted, and loved how he wanted. Fly was Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky, never a down day. Fly, being the baby of the Hardee clan, survived all of his brothers and sisters. His siblings included Nathaniel Green, Rosalie Green, James Jimmy Bo Hardee, Hardee Harry, Richard Hardee, Leon Cadillac Hardee, Frank the King Hardee, George Hardee, Freddie Cuba Hardee, Queen Esther Miller, Caretha Hardee Bamberg, and Azalee Hardee James. Fly is survived by 4 children. His stepson Irving Hardee, Benjamin Hardee, Natasha Hardee, and Dion Hardee. 5 grandchildren, Nicole Mullings, Frank Daly, Julian Hardee, Miles Hardee, Mason Hardee, and 1 great-grandchild, Dana Daly. He also leaves behind 3 sister-in-laws, a host of other nieces and nephews, and Kingston Avenue neighbors who loved him.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you for that.
And the rain, my race has been won. We'll walk around heaven. We'll just walk around heaven. We'll just walk around heaven. Every day will be Sunday. Walk around heaven. Sabbath will have no end. Walk around heaven. All of my tears will be over. Walk around heaven. We'll just walk around heaven all day.
Amen. And I'm sure Hardy is walking around heaven. Yes, he is. I would like to invite friends and family up to share some words about Fly. The mics are open. Anyone who would like to share?
Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. God has spoken, so let the church say amen. Good evening, everybody. My name is Anthony Orlando Osborne. I'm part of the Lincoln Road crew. And I didn't come by myself. My crew came in. They all here. Could y'all stand up, my Lincoln Road crew? Where's the Lincoln Road crew? That's my crew from Lincoln Road, where we all grew up as kids. And Mr. Hardee was there. And I want you to know, Mr. Hardee, we were all kids. And Mr. Hardee had his little Fly construction company, and we had no choice but to work. When he said work, we worked. Did I know how to lay a tile? No. Did I know anything about cement and rolling trucks? Y'all can sit down. That's one of the crew. You recognize my crew. Did I know anything about cement and crew and trying to do this and trying to do that? I had no choice. Mr. Hardee taught us.
Do I know how to lay a towel today? Yeah, I can give it a shot, but I didn't like doing it. But I thank him for that because he showed us all that worth ethic.
While you're free, be who you have to be, and life will be ours again. Like the rain, you must fall. We'll all be there after all, and life will be ours again. And behold, just one more, just for this moment, and I'll let you go, 'cause God loves you so. Chains, they won't bind you no more, the strings, they won't tie you no more, and you hold the key to heaven, can't you see? So run on, wild and free, be who you have to be, and life will be ours again. Like the rain, you must fall. We'll all be there after all, and life will be ours again. Run on wild and free.
Sorry, y'all. I had a bad piano. That's my bad.
Thank you, road crew right here. So, man, you did a great job, brother. But yeah, man, I'm gonna say a few words for my father. I want to send out love and light. If everybody could do the same thing, send love and light for my father, Benjamin Hardee, AKA known as Fly. And I want to tell you, man, all my friends that whenever I talk to them about my father, how man Fly, everyone of them said, all you see is a smile. Everyone. And you know, these guys don't talk to each other, man. And you know, I be like, man, how y'all remember all that, man? But they love my father. They say he was so cool, but my father used to be in my butt so much I didn't see no at the time. But once I moved out to Georgia and moved upstate, me and my pops got close. You know, I gave him a car. Yeah, I gave him a car. He didn't have no car. I gave him a car. I gave him a bed. You know, my father had fell on some times, but you know, we became friends. You know, I just, you know what my friends was talking about. But he taught me how to be an entrepreneur. I have got off the slave plantation. I don't work in the corporate plantation because of my father. Because my father had maybe 4 jobs. You must have thought he was Jamaican. 4 jobs. He had business and a job because he would lay bricks and then go get his own business. Had to drove cab, hired people to drive the cab for him, you know. And I was like, wow, you know. And I was like, man, I don't want to do all that. But once I hit that plantation, I was like, boy, I got to start my own business, you know. And I eventually, you know, I've been off the plantation since the corporate plantations, 2001 when I was in Georgia. And praise be to God, this is the, I have to give them those praise. I want to let you know I am an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. because of this man. And because of this man, you know, I'm able to give speeches because I have to give speeches to people that work for me. And you know, I should be scared to talk in front of people. I remember when I was in college, they actually, you know, stand up in front of class, I jetted out the room. Well, but stand up to give them speeches, but you know, it just grew on me, you know. And I'm able to give speeches and stand in front of large audiences and talk. But Toastmasters, I do learned on my own. And so if I'm a self-made millionaire. And I'm saying that it's not liquid money, but I have like over $1 million in cards because I have a collection of cards. But you know, money doesn't make everything. It's just assets and stuff. But I love my father to death. I loved him when I was a little kid. My mom used to yell at me, but you know, I could always find comfort in Fly. You know, even though he used to be in my butt, you know, but I wish Cookie was here. He said, boy, get over here, boy. So, you know, some of the guys from Lincoln Road, you know, y'all remember, y'all can repeat how my pops used to talk to me, but I love him to death, and I know he's in a better place right now. And I tried to, when I was here 2 weeks ago, I just knew he was gonna make it. The 6 months, I was coming back in January, and I was looking forward to coming back in January, spend time with him. But, you know, the Lord took him, and you know, Fly, ain't nothing gonna hold him down. He called me to get him out that hospital, get me out there. I said, Fly, I'm in Georgia, how you gonna get on the plane and get up here? So he called everybody to get in. I let him talk to my children on the phone, and he said, Miles, is that you? He said, yeah. He said, Miles, you need to come up here and get me. I said, "Might my phone. Miles, 14 years old, how you going? You're not going to hold Fly down, because Fly said, you know, I'm going to get out here physically, I'm going to get out here spiritually. And he left spiritually, you know, and I'm with him, and I wish he was here. But, you know, he knew better. He knew what was best for himself. And we can't be selfish. And, you know, and I said you off with love, my father. And I will see you. I will see you one day.
I'm gonna look at those guys, and Mr. Hardee was the man. He took care of us. I mean, we was 10 to 15, I guess. But he had that checkered cab. And every time he went somewhere, we threw us there in that checkered cab with 3 people can sit in the back and the little seat falls over. We went everywhere with that cab. Then he organized a basketball team for us. We used to play basketball every Sunday night. Yeah, but that was true. If you wasn't there on time, you had to walk up to the church on Rogers Avenue, the Catholic church. I don't know how he got us in there, but we got in there. He used to turn the lights on, and he says, "Hey, we snuck in this place. He said, don't worry about it. Don't worry, we're gonna play basketball." I was like, "Hey, he's turning the lights on." I said, "Yo, we talking. Don't worry." So then he started bringing other teams. We could never win a game, but we just look forward. That Sunday, every Sunday, 6 o'clock, go up there. He jumped in the cab, but he watch out for every one of us. He was our father on the block, you know what I mean? Yes. Always was, and we went to ball games, you didn't have the money, he didn't care, let's go, we're going, you know what I mean? So he always took care of us. He always took care of us. And when I found out, the only thing I could think was the checkered cab. Because we went so many places, you know what I mean? With that cab, but he treated us just like his own son. Treated us like his own son. I'm gonna miss him.
Good evening, once again. Fly was my best friend. Fly was my father. Fly was my lover. Fly was all of that to me. You know, he was men amongst men. He was in a class by himself. You know, my heart is heavy, but I'm not sad. It's not saddened because I know he's in a better place now. He's not hurting. He's not cussing me out. None of that, you know. And I just want, and I pray that the light of his spirit shines as bright as it did when he was here. And I just want to read this poem, short and sweet. God called your name so gently that only you can hear. No one heard the footsteps of an angel draw near. Softly from the shadows there came a gentle call. You closed your eyes and went to sleep and quietly left us all.
I know none of you know who I am, but my name is Shaquan Williams, and I know him as Uncle Fly because he was my grandfather's best friend. I am Curtis and Josephine Van Burson. And my grandmother couldn't make it, but I sure he came. And as I hear all these stories as a little boy, I was about 15. I told him I wanted to do music. He said to me, "You can't do anything if you don't put your heart into it." So last year he came to Thanksgiving with Grandma, right? My wife and my son. He met my son and he talked to him and he hugged him. And you know, everybody know Uncle Fly, you're right. Everybody right. He used to tell me, he said, "Nephew," I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Pour me some of that firewater." You got some of that firewater? He said, "Nephew." He said, "Man, pour me some of that firewater." I said, "Sure." So we had a little toast. And you know, my grandfather passed a couple years ago, so it was just us. And it felt good because when Grandpa was gone, Uncle Fly was around. Now Uncle Fly's not here. I just bet they would be happy getting that firewater. And getting that holy water. And for me, like I said, I'm a singer. And I would love to do something for him if that's possible.
Yes.
I came across this song by Brian McKnight called "When the Chariot Comes." Now I can't get it all out because of how I feel, but I will do this. All of these flowers for this friend of ours, it's such a shame. All of these people, all of them equally feel the same. This crying and weeping looks like he's sleeping, the children say. They say he was ready, I hope he was ready, is the prayer I'ma pray. When Gabriel begins to roar, victory shall be mine.
Hello, I'm Natasha. I'm Fly's daughter. So about a month ago, unfortunately, my brother's mother passed away, and my dad needed to go to the funeral, right? So I made it happen. I went to the hospital early in the morning, and I had gotten him dressed. I had to dress him, and I got him stood up, and I said, "Whoever thought that I would be dressing you one day?" Right? Because he always dressed me, bathed me, make sure my skin was this. He's always fussing over me. I was his baby girl. I put him in the car, and you know, before we left the hospital, they was like, "Oh, if you leave, you're not going to be able to make it back. You may not make it back. You could die out there." And he's like, I said, "What you want to do, Dad?" He said, "Let's go."
That's right. That's right.
So I got him, put him, they was taking forever. I said, "Let me this wheelchair him out." And so the hospital already knows there's people like my father out there, because they had a big metal thing over the wheelchair. And I was like, "Daddy, come on, let me get you in this car. And he said, put the wheelchair in the car. Put the wheelchair in the car. I said, Daddy, you can't put the wheelchair in the car. He said, put the wheelchair in the car. I said, Daddy, let me do what I gotta do. The wheelchair can't fit in the car. So he finally got it because I had to break down in tears. I was like, you don't know how hard this is for me, right? Got him, put him in the car, was driving. He's perked up. He started looking as we drove down through the city trying to get to Jersey. He started saying, me and Frank work here. Me and Frank work there. Me and Frank did this. I used to eat breakfast over here.
Take your time.
We came back from New Jersey. And he had to go on, I don't know, Unicos, get back to me. He had to go to the meat market. Yes. He had to go to the meat market. And I take him to the meat market. He had to sit up and he had to talk to, I don't know who it was. Go there, call so-and-so. So-and-so. What you want? Well, Father needs time. I ain't got time right now. He over there going, so-and-so. Finally, they waited on him. He has a little benefit card. He has a little hustle going over there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So he had to get his little $5 a boy's head turkey, maybe something turkey, I don't know. Sure, some good turkey, girl. You know what you're missing. Yeah. 4 link sausages. Now he's going back to the hospital. Said, Daddy, what are you going to do with link sausages in the hospital? And I said, something said to me, just leave him alone. Let him do what he normally do. I said, let's just let him do it. If they go rotten, bad, whatever, don't matter. He's feeling himself. This is what he was. He was already in the hospital for 2 months. Let him just be. So I got him in the hospital. I got him the sausages. He did whatever. He was sitting on the box and sitting up so straight. And I was trying to talk to the people. Turn around and look. He up at the counter standing up straight. Now he could not walk. Mind you, needed to carry him, help him get there. I don't know how he got. I'm telling you, I don't know how he got from the box over there to the counter over here. He must have told somebody to get him up here. He had been asking us for cigarettes. I mean, a cigarette. He had water on his lungs. He couldn't. He needed a breather. He called it, which is so he could get oxygen. Right? Give me my breather. Right? Whatever. Give me a cigarette. So he got his little money from his little meat market. Went in the store. He threw his money up there, said to the guy, he said, give me 4 cigarettes. And the guy looked at me and I said like this. He turned to me and he said, you told him not to give me those cigarettes! I couldn't remember what outside. We went out and he wanted to go somewhere to get some fish. So we took him down somewhere to get some fish. And of course, in the fish market, they cook fish on the side. Somebody had a little hustle over here. Liked all those kind of things. But in the fish market, the fish is out. And of course, he got into a coughing spell.
Oh, yes.
And it was very dramatic. Yeah. He was coughing. Hit me on the back. Hit me on the back. He carried on up in that fish market. I was like, we in the fish market and he coughing all over the fish. Lord have mercy. But they knew him. We gave him a big old tissue for him to, expel whatever he needed to expel. Yeah, that's what I said. Oh God. And I took him back to the hospital because by then I had like 2 good nerves left. And they was barely good. They barely had a pulse going through them. And he had his fish dinner and his 4 sausages and his boar's head, whatever, and his little money in his pocket. And that was his last day that that was his day, and I'm glad that I was able to give him that day. So, that's my dad.
Hi everybody. Hello. That man right there was my friend. He was little, but he used to bully me. You know, I came on a house back in 2000, and I didn't have anybody, no family, biological family, but they never really been there for me. I seen him a couple of doors down, he was laying some bricks. And he was talking under my clothes, as he always would do. What are you gonna do? And that was just the beginning of a wonderful friendship. He was like my father, you know, cause I never really had like a father figure or like a strong black man. Fly was a strong black man. That is a good man right there. He will be missed. He thought my house was his. He thought my house was his. He would tell me, you need this done. You need that. Fine, I don't got the money. I gotta go to work. Well, you better give me now, because I ain't gonna be around here all the time. Be like, shut up. You know, and I'd work overtime and get it done, and he would do that work, and we'd be there side by side. He taught me so many things. He said, you're gonna need to know how to do this stuff, but you got a house. And my basement is full of so much stuff that he made me keep tools and all this stuff. I don't know how I'm gonna get all that stuff out of there. And we would be working, and he'd fly, he'd buzz around, he'd be up on something. Then he started falling back with his arms. Catch me, catch me, catch me. I drop him up. And he would have that trial. He just keep working down. You know, I want to be sad. And since I heard about it, I had my moments I want to cry. But I can't cry because this man was so full of life. He was so funny. We'd be working side by side. We'd be cursing each other out, and then I hand him a brick, you know. He was a good man. He was a good man. I would cook on Thanksgiving and bring him a whole meal, you know. If I tell him that I need something, he would come anytime. So like, meet me here in 15 minutes. And I would come and get him, and sure enough, fly at my back. I'm going to miss him, you know. And I had his back too. And that's my man. I'm going to miss him, but when I think about him, I'm always going to smile. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have Nicole Mullings for a reading of a poem.
Excuse me, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Good evening, everybody. My name is Hardee. I'm Fly, aka Benjamin Hardee. But what I was thinking about Fly, I have to say there'll be one thing you could say about Fly. He was a man who did it his way. Just like you, yes, I'm quoting Frank Sinatra, but that's the only way you can say about Fly, because anything that he did was his way. Like if he told you to sweep a floor, there's a proper way to do it, his way. Like if he tell you to lay a brick, you ain't doing it right, he gonna take it from you and do it his way. So when I would say that my father was a man that was loving, fun to be around, he would be a part. If there's a party to go to, he would want to start it. Just like with Keisha, that just spoke just a few minutes ago,
like he had many children. Because like if you didn't have a parent, he would adopt you. Like you would say that he's a man of many hats because he was your cook, he was your father, he was your priest, he was your punisher because he would beat you too.
Without a doubt.
And I would have to say that the one thing that he wouldn't have to beat you with, but his words would cut you deep. Like this man would be able to take a giant and bring him down to his knees with his words. Also, he would be like your mother confessor, your priest, and he would help you out any way he could. You know, like he would give him food, bake him in your house, cook you a dinner, which he loved to cook. Which everybody that knows Fly knows that. And also, I have to say that what I like to say about Fly is a man that took no mess. He like, the first thing I would have to say about my father is that he may be a kind man, he was a stern man, but he's a man of action. Because the first thing I remember of my father is like getting up early in the morning, waking him for work say like, it's time, Daddy, we're gonna get up, we'll go to work. It's time to do a job. We go to a construction site, and he said he'd take a brick. And he would take the brick and he would just throw it at you. And I said, why you throwing the brick at me? Like, you gotta catch it. You gotta learn right now, today, son, how to catch a brick. Right, so he would take, the first thing he did, he took 2 bricks in his arm, put it down, and he stopped throwing it. I said, like, why are you throwing the brick at me for? Like, I'm looking to the left of me, left and right of me, bricks start coming at me. He said, you gonna catch it, boy, you gonna catch it now. So he stopped throwing it. Yeah, you gotta work, boy. So the next thing I knew, I started catching the bricks, taking 2 at a time, throwing it down, see the next person down the line. So, those are fun times doing that with him, doing construction. So I'm gonna miss him very much. And I know everybody here was gonna do that too. Because I said because even right now in heaven, I know he's ordering somebody around. So because they said like the gates, he gonna tell St. Peter's to move the gates, tell him how to do it, open it is not the right way to do it. And he's going to give him proper instruction how to open the gate for the next person to come behind. So I know, Dad, wherever you are, I love you. And you're going to surely be missed by myself and your children and your friends and everybody here. And the people that's not even here, I'm going to miss you, Dad. I know my mother's going to miss him too. But they're up there in heaven together. So as she telling Fly, just like, calm down. Yes. Calm down, Fly, you know, you got acting respectful up here, you know what I'm saying? There's no drinking up here neither, so you can't do that. So, I'm gonna miss you, Dad. Thank you very much.
I just have 2 things I want to say about my Uncle Fly. Because I'm his second daughter, and I always tell everybody I'm his favorite niece, next to Audrey. But there was one day I went to go see Uncle Fly, I took him some things. He was always very appreciative and grateful. And he said, you know, Vanessa, I got up this morning and my knees, they was hurting me so bad like I could barely stand up. I said, Uncle Fly, do you not realize that you're an old man now? You're not 40 no more, you're like 75 now. He fell out. Like he must have laughed for like 5 minutes. Like, you know what? You might be right. I'm like, yes, it's your spirit that's 25, but your bones are for an older man. He was like, you know what, Vanessa? Because he never say Vanessa. He always say Vanessa. He's like, you know, you might be right. The other thing was, One day he told me, I was talking to him on the phone, he said, you know, I had a dream that all my brothers and sisters came to see me. He said, it was so strange, like I seen them, like so clear. I said, they all came to see you because they tell you to act right, get it together, so you can see them again, get it together. You know what, Vanessa? You might be right. I said, Uncle Fly, do you not know? We talk all the time. I'm always right. You just hard-headed and you don't want to listen. But our last conversation when I went to see him in the hospital, when I left, he was, you know, Fly. He was blowing me kisses, blowing me kisses. The nurse came in, you know, she's looking like, who is this? Like, you know, this is her family. Like, I don't have no business being here. So I gave her the look. And she said, who are you? I said, I'm his niece. Who are you? She said, I'm his nurse. I said, well, I knew him first. So me and Uncle Fly, we laughing. So the nurse is trying to sit him up so she can get ready to feed him. And he put his arm around her. She said, Mr. Hardee, I'm married. He said, who cares? I said, Uncle Fly, the nurse don't want you to hug her. He gave me the look like, you be quiet. So she said, Mr. Hardee, move your arm. I told you, my husband not gonna like that. He not here. Who cares? All he knew was he was getting a little hug. She was sitting him up on the pillow. He directed her what he wanted to eat, when he wanted to eat it, how much he wanted to eat. And when he got down to the ice cream, he said, Vanessa, they ain't got no cake. I said, Uncle Fly, this is not like home. They don't always serve cake and ice cream. You might get cake, but you don't get ice cream. You might get ice cream, but you don't get cake. But when we left, we blew kisses. I told him about his hair. If you let it grow too long, it's going to get rough like carpet. He rolled his eyes at me, threw me a kiss, told me he loved me. And that's our life. That's how it's always been. We always tell you we love you.
Yes.
Amen.
And good evening. In lieu of time, we are going to move to the final viewing, and where I'm turning the service back over to the funeral director, Mr. Gilmore.
Isolation.